Welcome to our LCP annual report video, where we will cover what districts need to do while filling out the 2022 LCP annual report. This will cover 3 separate programs, 2 federal and 1 state. 2 federal programs are Title I and Title III. The state program is our state K-12 at-risk program. So when the district is ready to start completing this, you'll want to go to Authenticated Applications at the KSDE website. You'll log in and you will go through and accept both the Kansas Student Privacy Data Act and the FERPA information. And then in the different applications you have, you'll want to choose the LCP system. Once in the LCP system, this is for the LCP annual reports, we will click on that. At this point, your page will look slightly different than what the KSDE user has. It will only have the information for your district. So I'm going to select a district for an example. And we'll want the top here highlighted if you've already opened it. If not, you'll have a gray box to open your annual report at the top. We're going to be looking at last year's, as no changes have been made from the 2021 school year to the current 21-22 school year. So you'll go on the left side. You always want to check your district information first to make sure that is correct at the top of the page. If anything's not correct, you'll want to type in the correct information and click Save. All of this information is extremely important that we have the accurate information, but especially the email address, as this plays 2 roles. It gives us a live link to click and send an email directly to the district, but it also gives within the system, this is who will receive any system updates or any emails or comments that are sent through the LCP system. So you'll want to make sure this is up to date every time you do any new part of the LCP system. So for the annual report, our first section is Title I. This district does not receive Title I, so that's where that red information is at the top of the page. Anytime you're unable to enter anything, there'll be red items explaining why at the top of the page. Specifically on the Title I page, there's 2 sections. The top section is for districts that have targeted assistance programs. School-wide programs do not have to fill this top section out. They only have to fill out the bottom section. School-wide programs may go ahead and fill this out along with Title III and state at risk and submit at any time. A district that has targeted assistance schools cannot put the information in for the targeted assisted information until they've submitted the kids' end of year accountability. So that needs to be completed before you can fill out this top part. However, we strongly recommend that you go ahead and fill out the bottom part of this page, the Title III page, if you receive Title III funds, and the state at risk page, because we know many times there is district turnover during the summer. We don't want somebody new having to come in and find all of the data. So please go ahead and fill out what you can before leaving for the summer. So once a district with targeted assistance students has completed their EOYA and submitted, a number will appear at the top next to total number of Title I task participants. And then down below, the district will need to put how many kids received each of these services. So if you had 50 kids that received title services, 27 of them received reading, you'd put the 27 in reading. If you had 32 of those 50 that received math, you'd put 32 in math. The students can be duplicated in this chart. So you technically could have a student under each of these categories. The same student could count in each category. So the total will have to be the total number of participants at the top or greater. It cannot be a lesser number than what was reported on the kids' EOYA. And so as we scroll to the bottom, this piece is for our paraprofessionals. And again, it will depend on if a district has targeted assistants, schools, school-wide schools, or both. Most districts have one or the other, but for those districts that do have both columns under Title I TAS and Title I SYP for school-wide programs will need to be filled out. And we really like to point out the instructions right before this table for rows 3 to 5 below. Please count each paraprofessional only once, and the asterisks at the bottom. For targeted assistance school, you will only include those paraprofessionals paid with Title I funds. And under the school-wide, you would include all paraprofessionals in the building that are providing instructional support. So we'll look at this table. Number 1 says total number of paraprofessionals by head count. So again, under TAS, this is only those paid with Title I funds, and under SYP for school-wide program, these would be any paraprofessionals that are providing instructional services. Then we look at number 2, total number with a GED or high school diploma. This is a requirement. So the answer of number 2 should be the same as the answer to number 1 in both columns. And then when we look at numbers 3, 4, and 5, these are the ones where we only count a para once. Even if they meet all 3 of these, you would choose one to count them under. So either they have 48 hours of college credit, we mark them with an associate's degree or higher, or they have passed one of the state-approved paraprofessional assessments, the Parapro, the Paraeducator, or the Work Keys. More information can be found on those 3 state-approved paraprofessional assessments on the KSDE paraprofessional page, which you can find by going to ksd.org, and then under the subject index, click P for and go down to paraprofessionals, and that will take you to the website. And under the Title I section, we'll have all the information on what is required for each of those 3 tests. But again, the para, if they don't have 48 hours or associate's degree or higher, they would only have to pass one of these tests. And then at the bottom of the page is that if there's extra information that you need to submit or comment to our staff, you can type it in the submitter comments. And if KSD has any questions for you, we will either reach out with a phone call, an email, or put comments in the KSD box and return the annual report to the district. So now that we've completed the Title I page, we'll come back up to the left side and we will click on Title III. Title III annual report focuses on the professional development that is offered by the school district using Title III funding. So the first question is just a numeric answer. We ask for the number of teachers in the district who receive professional development funded with Title III funds. So it's very specific. These are for professional development funded with Title III funds, and you'll include all the teachers in the district who participated in the training that was specific to the educational needs of English learners that was funded by Title III. The second table is to checkmark any professional activities that were funded with Title III, scientifically based professional development activity. So you see here, this district checkmarked 5 of the 6 boxes that they provided these different types of professional development with Title III funds. If you do mark other, you'll have to explain, and we will review to make sure that is an appropriate use of Title III for professional development. And then the third table will be the number of participants in these 6 different categories. So there's PD provided administrators other than principals, PD provided to community-based organizations, PD provided to content classroom teachers, PD provided to LEP classroom teachers, PD provided to other school personnel that are not administrative And then the last one, PD provided to principals. So you'll have those numbers divided out into each of those 6 categories. And then once you've completed this page, you would click Save. And then you would go on to our third and last program that we have in the LCP annual report, and that is the K-12 State at Risk report. Every school district in Kansas receives K-12 State at Risk. It would only be our service centers that do not. So on the K-12 State at Risk, there are 9 questions. And it's really important to make sure that we are providing accurate data throughout this report, as this is how KSDE reports school district data about the K-12 at-risk program to the state legislature and any public requesting the data from our state at-risk funds. So question number 1 asked to provide the unduplicated number of students who met the state at-risk criteria, therefore eligible for services funded with state at-risk dollars. So these are students that met the criteria, not our free lunch students who generate the funding. So again, these are the students that met the at-risk criteria. Most districts keep this tracked in their school information system and or an Excel document that shows the student name, why they qualify, so one of these categories, and then typically the type of services they have received if they receive funds. So we'll want the number of students that receive services in number 1. Then number 2 asks how many of those identified students in question 1 were served. So number 1 were all those that qualified, and number 2 were those that were actually served. In the majority of our districts, the answers to number 1 and 2 will be the same or extremely close. Anytime we see a difference between questions 1 and 2, we are most likely to reach out to the districts just to double check that the numbers they provided are correct. Because in the majority of our districts, we're going to see close to, if not 100% of the students served. As districts that have less poverty and higher population, that is where we typically see a bigger difference in those numbers. Question number 3 asks, how many at-risk students received at-risk type services provided through other funding? And most people think of this as our Title I funds. And we want to be specific, and please do not include special ed funding. So you'll put that number in here. And then we'll go on to number 4, which is our first narrative question on the state at risk funding. We specifically need to know what research, and we're typically talking about student assessment data or other type of student data, did the district rely on in determining the need for services or assistance. So you'll list the different assessment data of how you determined what services would be provided in number 4. Once you've completed that, you'll go to question 5, which are for check boxes. This asks for the different types of services and or assistance that were provided. So number 4, we're asking how you determined what to provide. And here we're asking for check boxes of what was actually provided. So we have different categories such as additional in-class assistance, after-school programs that would also count for before school or programs during seminar, alternative high school programs, credit recovery at the high school or course completion or makeup work, our language support programs, if we're using our at-risk funds to support English learner programs, summer school programs, tutoring programs, and again, we have other. If what you provided does not fit under one of these other categories and is an allowable activity, you would mark other and be specific on what was provided. Then as we go to number 6 is our next narrative. And where we use check boxes on number 5, number 6 is going to be a short narrative to describe the services. So this just goes into a little more detail than what question 5 talked about. So in a narrative form, you'll describe the services that were provided with the state at-risk funds. Number 7 is one of the questions we get a lot of questions from a legislature on. They want to know, because they're providing all these funds for our state at-risk program, they want to see what the results and effect on our students these funds have. So we're looking for student impact data. So we're looking for things like assessment data, could be the CAP, the Kansas Assessment Program, could be local data that you're using like FastBridge, Dibbles, Ames Web, and so on. You know, if you're using it to help at the high school level and to promote graduation, we'd like to see graduation data. And a lot of times we'll see different things, and we might bring in perception data from our students, teachers, and families to show the impact of the state at risk program. After that, we go on to the next 2 questions, number 8 and 9, which go together and both go along with the evidence-based programs. So the legislature in the state laws passed that Kansas K-12 at-risk funds must be based on evidence-based programs and or practices. And so on this one, we are looking specifically for a list. We do not want a narrative on question 8 or 9. We want a list of those programs and or practices that are supported by Kansas K-12 at-risk funding. Not just programs you use, but the specific programs and practices that you use K-12 at-risk funding for. And to help you, we've clicked a link. We have a link there that you can click to the most updated list. At this point, we're currently getting it updated as we've had a few more to add to the list. If a program is not on this list, you have multiple options. You can request to have it listed, which you could send that to essaquestions@ksde.org, or more effectively, you could put it on question 9. Because in the law, there's also the choice that districts have to use programs that are not on the list, but the district will be able to show positive effects over their 5-year accreditation cycle. So if you have a program that you feel is successful in your district and is not evidence-based and is currently not on the evidence-based list, you still may use the K-12 at-risk funding for this program. You must, over time, though, be able to show the positive impact it has locally on the students in your district. So you would list any of those programs if you would have any on question 9. If all the programs and practices you are using can be listed on 8 because they're on the evidence-based practice page, you would just put NA as your answer to question 9. There has to be an answer, so you'll either you list programs that you're using data locally that shows the positive impact, or you will put NA on question 9. At that point, you can click comments to see any comments you've made, or if KSDE has responded at any point, you can see those comments as well. If you want to run reports from this part of the application, the first one says print blank annual report. This prints it completely blank. None of your answers will be in that print. If you go to the print, you can also save this as a PDF. With print annual report, the difference here, this will print with any of the data you've uploaded or you've put into the system. So if you put some information here, we know some people like to save it. So you can print annual report. Excuse me. And again, you can actually print the report or just save it as a PDF. And then the third section allows you to do one section of this annual report at a time. So if you just wanted to print Title 1, you would click Title 1, hit Print Report, And you would again have the options to print the report for Title I or save it as a PDF. And you can do that for any of these 5 sections and just print that one report. We want to thank you for all you do for kids, and feel free to contact us at KSDE if you have any questions while filling out the annual report. Thank you and have a great day.
Hello, my name is Meg Richard, and I am one of the K-12 STEM program managers here at KSDE. And I am so excited today to share the 8 great reasons why you and your staff should attend this year's KSDE Summer Academies. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Summer Academies, they are our largest professional learning opportunity for educators around the state. We're hoping that you will come and recharge your learning and your desire to help others learn while attending at one of our 4 locations. We're going to kick off this series in June in Manhattan and then travel over to Goddard. After Goddard, after the 4th, we'll be traveling out to Garden City, July 12th and 13th. And then we're very excited this year to be offering a virtual option as well. Now, don't wait. Go ahead and click pause on the video so that you can copy down that registration link or scan the QR code with your phone, because you're not going to want to miss out. And if you're thinking, Meg, I need to know more, why should I attend? I am so glad you asked, because I'm going to give you that great 8 list right now. Number 8, your district may be able to pay for your travel and your registration using ESSER funds. There's a lot of money left out there tied to ESSER. We hope that you'll engage in this professional learning. Number 7, you don't need a substitute. It is a great opportunity to connect with other educators across the state, and because it happens in the summer, no one has to make subplans. Speaking of those subplans, that is reason number 6 on our countdown. You don't have to make the subplans. You don't need the sub. You can just come and enjoy and dig deeply and not have to worry about behaviors when you get back. Number 5, we are so excited that we're able to partner for college credit for this opportunity. And it is a savings of at least $60. We were able to negotiate a discount. Are you looking for relicensure points? Are you looking for college credit? This is a great opportunity to receive some of those benefits. Speaking of that college credit, we're rolling right into number 4. And number 4 is you don't have any coursework to complete. That's right. When you attend the summer academies, there is no additional paperwork required to receive that credit. So we're hoping that that takes some of the worry and cares away and allows you just to really engage and recharge. Number 3, you get the relevant content-specific information that you need immediately. We have sourced and invited and partnered with some of the best and the brightest, hopefully including you, from around the state to bring this learning opportunity. So if it's going in a direction you're like, man, I'm really looking for this specific takeaway, feel free to ask and you get those answers right on the spot. No calling the help desk and waiting for a reply. We're there for you in real time. Number 2, you get to collaborate with colleagues. These opportunities are really tailored to be collaborative workshop type spaces where you have the opportunity to work and build and grow in our practice together. And last but not least, on our countdown is number 1, content-specific professional development. That's right, when you register for the summer academies, there are different sessions based in each of the content areas that are being taught at each of the grade levels being taught. So hopefully, not hopefully, it will be tailored to what you need this summer. As a reminder, there are 4 different locations. You can, again, pause the screen or visit the link on the screen, but we really hope that you will take this opportunity to invest in yourself, in your practice. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to email or give us a call here at KSDE. Thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do for Kansas kiddos. And thank you for engaging in this hot topics. And with that, we will see you in a month.